That press sure was effective. I wonder if that's something you might take with you to Brooklyn and use it maybe earlier or quicker, even if you're not in a dilemma.
That's you know, I think that the press has helped us in different times this year, and I think a little bit of the urgency of the game when you get down makes the guys maybe a little bit more aggressive, where sometimes when you start a game being aggressive against the press, you want to be a little bit more cautious just because you don't want to give up easy baskets. So it's a little bit of the nature of the game that the press works when you're down because you have less to lose. But I absolutely think it's something that can help us, especially if you get in a multiple game situation in a tournament setting.
In late season issues, the primary one has been scoring. How do you see that, and how do you think that can be addressed to juice it up a little bit as you get into Brooklyn?
I think the guys, we just have to trust what we do. I think we're comfortable playing in a game like tonight that was a little bit more of a, at least for the most part until we started pressing late, more of a grinded out game. I think we're fine with that. You know, our offense, we can continue to move and continue to cut and are able to get good shots. We've been better when we've been able to establish ourselves inside a little bit. I didn't think we were able to do that as much tonight. But really just trusting what we've done all year is going to be the most important thing moving into the tournament.
What did you tell them afterwards in terms of staying up and staying motivated and not let this beat you twice, you know, when you get into Brooklyn?
It's always disappointing when you lose, and certainly disappointing to lose on senior day. But there's a lot I think we can take from this game. I mean, George Mason's playing very well right now, and they're a good team, and we certainly had a chance to win the game there. Just trying to make sure we take the urgency that we had in the second half into the start of a game in Brooklyn. I think that's kind of the main message, is because I think we've proven when we play the way we did in the second half, where we can play with anybody in the league and have beaten multiple teams in the league that are in the top half of the standings. So we should be confident heading into Brooklyn that if we can bring that kind of energy and that kind of urgency, maybe we can bring the Spider crowd with us too. We should have a great chance to be successful.
Thank you.
The close losses you guys have dealt with this year, have you seen a common thread with those in those games that have not gone your way?
I'd have to go back and look at each of the games individually. I don't know that there's a common thread. We've won some. I think we've won a couple more of those lately than we've lost. Certainly against St. Louis and Loyola Chicago, we won some late. I think that maybe we had a couple of execution issues early in the year as we were trying to figure out things with a new team and new guys in different roles, but I think we've been much better in late game situations. I thought we were pretty good for the most part tonight. Obviously, that last play didn't work out the way we wanted to, but I think we've kind of gotten over that hurdle in a lot of ways. Even though I think more of those games were probably earlier in the year, and I think the guys are much more confident now in late game situations, maybe than we were earlier in the year.
What do you think your bench will provide for you guys in Brooklyn, specifically what Bigelow and Randolph did for you in the second half?
Well, we've talked about the strength of our team being that you don't know exactly where the energy or the production or the spark is going to come from. Isaiah and Marcus were excellent tonight. They really brought a lot of energy and made shots and made plays. And I think that's when we're at our best, when, you know, Tyler's going to be Tyler most games, and he's always going to produce. And we have other guys that have played a lot, but when we do get production from the bench, I think it really makes us a well-rounded team. And I think the guys embrace the fact that, you know, one night it might be Isaiah, one night it might be Marcus, one night it might be J-Nell. When we get production from the bench, we're certainly better.
You mentioned after the St. Louis win, it gave this team a belief that they can do it. Now you go into the tournament, other end, losing 3 straight. How do you kind of keep them having that belief that maybe we can do it again like we did last year, having to win 5, you got to win 5 in 6 days to get it done?
Right. Well, I don't think anybody's leaving this game without a belief that we could win. We were 1 possession away from winning the game tonight, 1 made or missed shot away from winning the game tonight. So there's certainly a belief after this game against a very good George Mason team that we can win in Brooklyn. I think we're likely to play on Tuesday and likely to play somebody we've either had a close game with or probably already beaten this year. So I think the belief will be there, and we have enough guys that were on the team last year that know what can happen in March and know what can happen in a tournament. But as a coaching staff, we're just going to focus on whoever we draw on Tuesday and go from there.
You start at the end, and it looked like just a handoff went awry, and the guy snuck in there between you guys. Is that essentially how it happened?
Yeah, pretty much. I messed up the timing on that one. Matt really had nothing to do with it. I just messed up the timing.
Down 18 with 13 or so minutes left, you hold them to 0 points for about 7 minutes. How?
Energy. Energy. Coach DB picked us up on the sideline, and we sat down on the defensive end, made them uncomfortable, and they couldn't score.
And the scoring problems for the Spiders up until that point were caused by their defense, which has been very good lately, or issues on Richmond's side?
A little bit of both. I think it's really hard to guard us in general when we don't let teams guard us. I think early on in the game, we like to feel it out a little bit too much, and that allows teams to gain confidence and sit down more on the defensive end and think that they can guard us. So I think overall, if we can just come out in attack mode from the jump ball, everybody, all 5 of us, it'll help us a lot with teams defending us.
Heading into the tournament, you've obviously played in that arena twice this year, and I wonder if that could be viewed as any sort of advantage, or it was so long ago that no big deal.
Maybe not. This isn't my first A10 tournament, so I think just age and experience is the biggest advantage you can get.
I know Matt has said earlier this year, why do we have to fall behind by such a big margin in order for the energy to get picked up? From your point of view, why do you have to, why does it seem like you guys pick it up a little bit when you trail by double digits or something like that?
Yeah, like you said, I think we have a bad habit of getting down, and then our tenacity grows and we get closer and we inch closer, and then the game gets within striking distance like it did tonight, 2-4 points, and then we're in the game. We tie it up. We maybe go up 1, go up 2. And that's where it's like, yeah, we're really in this game. We have a chance to win. Whereas early on, if we're down 15, you don't know if you can come back. You don't know if they're going to blow the lead even bigger to 30. So I think that is the bad habit that we have, is just being complacent until we get within striking distance.
The belief that you guys can, I'll say, do the same thing you did last year, but obviously that's the goal. But what's the belief going into this A10 tournament, given everything that has transpired with you guys this year?
Oh, the belief is to win.
Hey, you've been with some good teams and you've beaten some good teams. Could you sort of elaborate on your mindset, given that framework, that you haven't been blown out by people?
Yeah, the thing with the tournament is all the way up, everything up to it matters, with the seeding wise and whatnot. But, our seed's going to be our seed. And none of that matters when you step out on the court. It's one team versus the other team, and whoever plays harder, scores more points, wins. So coming into this tournament, it's one game at a time, one possession at a time. Us versus the other guys, whether they have a number 1 ranking, number 2 ranking, it doesn't matter. It's all about getting the win.
Is there a common thread, you think, with the close losses you guys have dealt with this year?
Yeah, like we spoke about earlier, just complacency, I would say, leads up to that. And then we get within striking distance, it makes them hurt a lot more. But I think the guys, and myself included, are really going to learn from this one, especially at this time, such a crucial time where it's win or go home now. So I think this one hurts enough to lead us into next week, to not let games get out of hand or not take early deficits.
Message you would tell the team gearing up for this one?
let's go win a championship.